Hey guys, Taki here, back with another skill guide. Up next, Divination. To get notified of all new videos when they drop, and to help support the channel, smash that sub button and click the bell icon. Welcome back. On screen you can find an overview of this guide. If you're new to this channel, you can find timestamps for everything that I will talk about in this guide in the description box below. This is a very detailed guide, so feel free to skip around to the sections that you need. Let's get into it. First up, we're going to cover items and buffs related to Divination. One of my favorite buffs to use when I'm going to be skilling is the clan avatar buff that was recently updated. If you're not familiar with this, all you need to do is be inside a clan that has an avatar and you get at least a 3% boost every week for doing nothing, as long as you remember to activate it. Activating this buff is easy. All you have to do is go to where your avatars are kept, click on Manage Avatar on this stone, and then you're going to activate your weekly buff. Click XP boost, and then you'll be all set. If you've never capped on your resources, then you will only be allowed to get the 3% boost, but you can increase this by capping for 3 weeks in a row. Aside from this, you are going to want to unlock the Wisp Herder and Ethereal Connection perks from Memorial to Guthix. I will cover how to unlock these in the last part of this guide. Although they are a little pricey, you should always be using Divination Urns for an XP boost of 20%. If you've completed the quest, Nomad's Elegy, you can use an Urn Enhancer to boost your Urn XP, which will equate to an extra 5% XP overall. There are two familiars that you can use with Divination, either the Light Creature or the Nightmare Muspa. In almost all cases, you're going to want to use the Nightmare Muspa because it will allow you to AFK for a longer period of time when you are training the skill. If you've completed Sliske's endgame, you can use the Ring of Whispers for a +3 invisible boost to Divination. If money is not an issue to you, you can use a Skilled Champa for a +3 to 22.5% boost to obtain Enriched Memory. And if you have pull scores, you can use them for bonus experience and the stacking 2% buff that goes out to all of the people standing around you, maxing out at 10%. When you get to the higher levels, you're going to want to start using an Energy Gathering Scrimshaw. This will give you a 15 to 20% chance to double your energy. If you remember to toggle this in between converting energy, this should always pay for itself and then some. You have two auras to choose between depending on your playstyle. You can use the Enrichment Aura for a 3 to 15% boost to obtain Enriched Memory, or the Wisdom Aura, which will give you a 2.5% XP boost for 30 to 90 minutes depending on your tier. If you want to get a little bit more mileage for your loyalty points, I would advise you to get the Wisdom Aura, since you can use it for more than one skill. When you get to 101 Invention, you can unlock the Divine-o-Matic Vacuum, which converts resources into divine charges. I will talk about using this vacuum in the later part of this guide. Aside from this, you have the Necklace of Shadows, which will save you some summoning points, and this next one isn't required, but having a mobile perk on a weapon and a piece of armor will allow you to surge inside and outside of caches more frequently. If you don't have the invention level for mobile, you can unlock Bladed Dive from Shattered Worlds. And for outfits, we have the Diviner's outfit, and this is a reward for completing XP caches at a maximum of a 50% chance, and this gives you a 6% boost for the entire set. When you get to higher divination levels, you'll be able to make the Elder Divination set with Divination Fragments using the invention skill. This provides a 7% chance to harvest 2 memories, a 7% chance to get 2 fragments at once, a 5% chance of getting 5 times energy, and XP boost from the Diviner's outfit if you own any of the pieces. When you get to 99 Divination, you'll be able to use the Divination Cape perk, which will cause wisps to last for 30 seconds. And if you completed the Light Within quest, you'll be able to use the Prism of Dowsing and Salvation. Aside from this, you should try to augment your offhand or your main hand weapon with the Wise perk. Now let's cover dailies. If you have the requirement of 75 or 92 Divination, you can use a Divine Simulacrum on World 2 Birth Orb to boost your daily XP. I don't really recommend doing this, however, as there are much better divine locations that you can take advantage of. You're going to want to start taking advantage of caches as soon as you can, especially at lower divination levels, given how much XP you can get for a small amount of time. You can configure the in-game clock to notify you of upcoming caches by clicking on the Adventures tab and going over to Minigames. Click on Caches and then set them as your favorite. I want to start off by saying that I am by no means the best person at doing this D&D, but even if you take the full 10 minutes to do this, which you shouldn't unless you're a lower level, the XP per hour of doing a cache based on a 10-minute run is much higher than anything else you could do. You should start off by surveying the area around you. If you don't see many people in a crest spot and there are a lot of automatrons up, it'll be easier for you to accumulate points by camping fallen autos. You should also try to keep track of the spawn order of the autos so that way you can plan your trips around when they will be standing up. This will maximize your points. You get 2 buffs when you're inside this form. The first is a 2x multiplier that you should save until you can make the most out of it, and the second is an ability that will subdue all of the autos that are standing up and give you points. This one is best to save until there are a lot of standing autos. Outside the Cresbot, you have 2 abilities, one that doubles your points and another that will give you immunity. You should save the 2x ability right before you are going to make a deposit to make the most out of it. During this time, you should focus on depositing as many memories as you can in the center from along the walls. If you don't have access to the mobile perk, you can alternatively use bladed dive switches to get to the wall and surge back to the rift. Another option would be to use the Prism of Salvation to jump forward, but this is only worth doing if you have access to nothing else. When you're done with the cache, you will get XP based on how many points you got during that run. You can complete a cache each hour for as long as you want, as long as you haven't gone over your daily point limit of 200 points. Now let's go over some leveling routes. Throughout your training of Invention, you're going to want to continue to create boons when you meet the level requirement to boost the experience of that tier by 10%. The last thing to note before we get started, be on the lookout for Chronicle fragments that fly around whenever you are training Divination. You can collect these and trade them in to an NPC for a lot of experience. From levels 1 to 10, you're going to be training at the Pale Wisp colony south of Draenor, and this is going to max out at 5k experience per hour. Before you get started, make sure you configure your XP to be the enhanced XP all the way on the right side. From levels 10 to 12, you're going to move over to Falador at the Flickering Wisp colony, and you will be getting 10k an hour. From levels 20 to 30, you're going to be at the Bright Wisp colony east of Varrock for 13k an hour. From 30 to 40, you're going to be at the Glowing Wisp colony south of Sears Village for 18k an hour. From levels 40 to 50, you're going to be at the Sparkling Wisp colony southeast of Relica for 28k an hour. From 50 to 60, you're going to be in the Karamja jungle at the Gleaming Wisp colony for 33k an hour. From 60 to 70, you're going to be north of the Mobilizing Armies at the Vibrant Wisp colony for 53k an hour. From level 65 to 75, I strongly encourage that you take a detour to the Empty Throne Room at the Dig site for 66k an hour. From 70 to 75, you're going to be at the Lustrious Wisp colony north of Canifis for 54k an hour. If you're not concerned with money, from 70 to 120 you can take a detour to the Hall of Memories in the Piscatorius Hunter area. This provides the fastest XP in the game with a small amount of profit. You can choose to do this either somewhat AFK or you can 2-tick for the best XP rates. You can head over to the Piscatorius Hunter area or you can use the memory strand inside your currency pouch to teleport directly to Memorial to Guthix. When you get here, use the pool to enter the hall. The first thing that you should do when you get here is to talk to the Archivist. He'll give you a memory storage bot that you'll have to fill by collecting memories from the things that rotate around the room. Head over to the eastern corner of the room to fill up on jars in your inventory before you start working on your first bot. You can use the check function to find out which memory you should hunt. After this, it's as easy as clicking on the memories as they rotate around the room between the pillars and the automatrons. It's important to note that having access to Bladed Dive and Mobile is going to be essential to increase your XP rates here. There are 5 bots that you'll want to complete if you want to unlock a higher level XP method. Each bot will give you 10k more than the previous bot, starting at 10k and maxing at 50. Once you're done with completing all the bots that you have access to, you're going to start doing core memories. The best XP for people under level 5 comes from camping core memories. You're going to use the FC Core Hunting. When you join this FC, you're going to want to check if there are any active worlds. If there are no active worlds, you should 2-tick or AFK the highest memory that you have access to, waiting for a world to be called. Worlds are called in the FC by giving the world in a fraction out of 6. A 6 out of 6 world will spawn a core memory in the center of the hall. Make sure you hop to the next active world as soon as possible to get the most benefit from a core memory. Once a core memory is activated, it will last for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. You can AFK during this time or 2-tick for twice the XP by clicking on the middle each time you see an XP pop up on screen. There are 5 different core types which will all give the same experience. The only difference between them is how much they fill your jars by per tick. So let's talk about some training options. From 70 to 120, you should camp core memories and AFK or 2-tick for the fastest XP rates. You should camp the highest memory type while you wait for core memory calls. From 95 to 120, you can camp incandescent memories and hop for crest or sword calls. Also starting at level 95, you can camp completing memory storage bots only. This has the added benefit of getting the 10k bonus from completing a memory storage bot and limiting your movement versus doing incandescent memories only. Now let's talk about XP rates. XP rates in the Hall of Memories are very dependent on spawn rotations and your luck with knowledge fragments. To illustrate this point, this is a clip of me testing XP rates on an empty world when knowledge fragments started to spawn. In 2 minutes I got 41k XP with bonus. If you remove the bonus, this works out to 615k XP per hour, and it's possible to have many of these knowledge fragment spawns in 1 hour, especially if you world hop. That being said, your XP rate should be between 100 and 400k XP per hour. It's also important to note that your XP rates will drastically increase when you reach level 95. Coming back from our detour, at level 75 to 80 you can do Elder Wisp Colony in the Elder Halls. This requires Fate of the Gods quest and it's 66k experience per hour. From 80 to 85 you want to be at the Brilliant Wisp Colony near the Mage Training Arena. You can use the Prism of Dowsing with the Light of Within quest done in 86 magic. This will give you 73k XP per hour. From 85 to 90 you can go to the Radiant Wisp Colony in Dragontooth Island for 79k XP per hour. From level 90 to 120 you can do the Ark, or the Uncharted Isles. This is inferior XP rates when compared to the Hall of Memories, but it's highly AFK. This will give you 110k XP per hour. From level 90 to 95 you can do the Luminous Wisp Colony east of Menaphos for 83k XP per hour. And from level 95 to 120 you can do Incandescent Wisp Colony south of the Poison Waste for 15k XP per hour with 1.7 mil profit, or 100k XP per hour with no profit. Divination's profit really shines when you unlock the Divine-o-Matic at 101 Invention. You have two good options for this. The first is to camp the incandescent colony like normal in AFK for a little less than a minute at a time. And the second is to go to the cursed energy spawn in the Wildy with just the vacuum and the Elder Divination set. The vacuum has a very low protect value, so you need to be careful with what you bring with you in case of PKers. If your vacuum is protected on death, you can safely gather energies at an increased charge rate with your vacuum. That's it for the main guide. Now let's start talking about some extras. First up we have Memorial to Guthix. Memorial to Guthix offers a slew of perks that influence other skills, but we only care about the XP you get from completing this activity and the aforementioned 2 perks that we want to set as active. First up, teleport to the Memorial by using the memory strands inside your currency pouch and then go through the tutorial. Go to the Void Knight Outpost and click the barrel in the southeast corner. Go to the center of the Wildy Volcano and click on the anagram on the floor. Go south of Tears of Guthix and get the one on the floor. Go to the Prayer Tutor in Berthorpe and search the altar. Go east of the Falador Lodestone and get the anagram on the rock. Go west of the Fishing Guild and look on the floor near the bush. Search the house of Fred the Farmer. Go to Zenarius and look near the sandpit under a mushroom. Teleport to Yanil and go to the southern part of the Gnome Maze. Go to the Fist of Guthix and search the shelf on the north side. This last one you only need to get when you prestige, but it's inside Guthix's house on fairy code AIS. After you've charged all your anagrams, go back to the Memorial of Guthix NPC and you will get a large XP drop. After this you can select your perks by clicking on the fountain. We want Wisp Herder and Ethereal Connection. Now let's talk about why you should be doing this. Anagram XP decreases when you prestige, capping at the 3rd time. This creates an effective XP per hour of 800 to 670k per hour, assuming that you do 13-minute runs. This means that you should always avoid capping your strands and do Memorial of Guthix whenever you are about to cap. The very last thing to mention in this guide are Cursed Energy XP rates. This is a super expensive method to train Div with good XP rates. The cost per XP is going to be anywhere between 10 to 26 GP per XP, and it will give you an XP rate of 260k per hour. This is actually pretty chill to do. I bought 100,000 of these from the forums just to test this out for this video. I ended up losing about 3.1 mil, which came out to a loss per XP of 10 GP. That's it for this one. Until next time, Taki out.